What is up, YouTube family? Thanks for joining in the channel. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Javon, and this is the place that I created where I can talk about finances and investing. Now, if that's the type of content that you are interested in, then make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so that way you never miss a video whenever I post one. Now today, we are going to be tackling a lot of the misconceptions that people have in regards to real estate investing. You see, for a lot of people, they recognize that real estate investing is a really great way to get started in generating wealth, but all they can see is the barrier of entry, that barrier being money or a lack of it. You see, for a lot of people, they believe that you need a huge amount of money in order to get started in real estate investing, and that is simply not the case. As a matter of fact, in today's video, I am going to be handing you guys 3 certified, proven ways that you can get started in real estate investing as a beginner with little, and in some cases, no money down. Now, if you want to get started into real estate investing, but you believe you don't have the funds to do so, then this video is for you. Stay tuned. Now, the first tactic that we are going to dive into is called wholesaling. Wholesaling is one of those strategies that's really popular among beginners because 1, it doesn't actually require you to buy property yourself, and 2, it makes it really easy to gain hands-on knowledge as you go along through the process. With wholesaling, instead of purchasing property yourself, what you are doing is finding property that investors are willing to purchase, assigning that property under your name in a contract, and then selling off that contract to interested investors. To break things down for you guys a little bit better, most wholesalers will begin their process by looking for properties. Properties that wholesalers look for are generally those that tend to be distressed in some type of way, and with a little bit of fixing, can be flipped and sold for a higher profit. An example of this is a house that can be bought for $75,000, fixed up for $25,000, and then sold for $150,000. Now at this point, you're probably wondering, wait, if a house can be fixed up for $20,000 and then sold for a huge profit, then why doesn't the homeowner do that themselves? And the answer to that question could be for a variety of reasons. For some people, they could have received that home due to a relative passing away and just want to get rid of the property as quickly as they can. For others, they could be moving to a new state and can't be bothered with trying to fix up the property. And for others, they might not want to deal with it at all by themselves. There are a lot of reasons why people are willing to sell a house that could go for $150,000 for $75,000 cash. A lot of reasons, and this is where wholesalers come in. Once a wholesaler finds a property like the one that we just talked about, the next step is to put that property under an assignment contract under them. And then after the wholesaler has done that, they must reach into their network to find a list of investors that are interested in the house based on the report that the wholesaler generates for that property. Now, once a wholesaler has a property and has an investor interested in that property, what the wholesaler will do is sell the investor that property contract for a fee. That fee is the profit that the wholesaler makes. Now, some people may think that, well, if a wholesaler is basically just finding up a property and getting an investor involved, why don't investors do that themselves? And honestly, you guys, a lot of times investors depend on wholesalers and real estate agents to find them good deals because a lot of investors don't have the time to actually go out and search for deals themselves. And this is where the wholesaler can make their profit. So the second strategy that I have for you guys is called house hacking. And I know it sounds a little weird, but stick with me because this is actually one of my favorites because it's one of the things that I'm currently doing now. House hacking is an investment strategy that is really powerful because it allows you to do 2 things. The first thing that house hacking allows you to do is invest into an asset performing property with little money down that you may have not otherwise had access to. And the second thing that house hacking allows you to do is save money on your monthly mortgage and then using that money saved to go out and invest again into real estate. Most people believe that you have to have a 20% down payment saved up for a house before you buy it. And while this is true, if you are going to use the house purchase purely for investment reasons, it's not true if you are going to be using the investment purchase as an owner-occupied house. So let's say, for example, that you found a nice duplex in your area and you are wanting to purchase it. In most cases, if you were going to use that duplex as a pure investment property, then you would have to save up between anywhere to 20 to 25%. But let's say with that duplex, you plan on living in one side while renting out the other side. Well, that, folks, is called house hacking. And since you plan on being in that duplex, living in it for a period of time, then what you can do is get an owner-occupied loan, which is usually an FHA or a conventional loan. And these loans typically require you to put down a down payment anywhere between 3 to 5%. Now, I'm not the best at math, but 3 to 5% of a down payment is way less than 20%, and that dramatically reduces the amount of money you need saved to get started into real estate investing. And that is why house hacking can be very powerful. Want more details on house hacking? Then no worries, guys. I have a link above just for you. And that link is a video that I made detailing how to house hack in a step-by-step fashion, everything that you need, and also what I did for my own house hack as well. So feel free to click on that link above. Like I said, check out what you need to get started in house hacking, because it is one of the most favorite investment strategies that I have came across. Hey guys, this is just a reminder to hit that like button down below, and also to subscribe to the channel if you love the content that you are seeing. I'm going to be posting videos in a weekly increment detailing different things about finances, investing, real estate, stocks, etc. Make sure you stick around for that. I don't want you to miss anything coming your way. This last strategy is relatively new, and it is one that I recently discovered. It is called Airbnb Arbitrage. Arbitrage? Arbitrage. I hope I'm saying that name right. Arbitrage. So with this investment strategy, I want to put out some disclaimers. It is frowned upon by a lot of people. And if you decide to go this way, then you're going to have to do a lot of research in your own state, because it has some laws that comes with it as well. Now, this investment strategy is only possible due to Airbnb being a thing. If you manage to get an investment property this way, then you will have to put little to no money down. You won't have to own the property at all, but you can make money on it. In fact, a large amount of money on it with little to no risk. So this is a good way to get started if you can make it work for you. So with Airbnb Arbitrage, what you're doing is you are looking on your market for rentals, and you're seeing what rentals are currently out there. And then you will be making a list of the landlords that own those rentals. Once you have a list, you'll call up the landlords and you'll ask them if you could essentially sublease their property for Airbnb use. And if they agree, then that means that you will sign a lease with that landlord, promising to pay a monthly rent every month. And then you can use that property for Airbnb purposes. So in a real world scenario, what would this look like? Imagine that you found a property that has a monthly cost of $1,000. You get in contact with the landlord and you tell them about their plans. They agree off to it. As long as they get their $1,000 a month, then that's all they really care about. Now for you, once you get into contract for that property, what you now have to do is Airbnb out that property and get a lot of people coming in for short-term rentals. Now imagine that property is costing you $1,000 a month, but you bring in $1,800 a month. Now, after expenses, your expenses being the monthly lease, the amount that it costs to clean the property after guests leave, the staging process, after all of those are subtracted, let's say at the end of each month, you make a net total of $300. Well, in this scenario, the money that you put down was probably only the initial deposit that's collected by most landlords. Let's say in this case, it's $1,000. So you invested $1,000 to gain control of an asset that is now bringing you in $300 a month, $3,600 a year. And the best part is, at the end of the year, at the end of your contract, if no damage is done to the property, you even get the amount that you invested initially back to you. So instead of having $3,600, since you gave an initial deposit of $1,000, you get back $4,600 by the end of the year without having to own the property and without having to save up a lot of money to purchase a property. That, folks, is absolutely genius. Now you may be wondering, well, if you can Airbnb out this place, then why doesn't the landlord do that themselves? And honestly, the same answer is due with wholesaling. A lot of people just don't want to take the time to do it. You see, how a landlord makes money is through their monthly rents. So usually a place could cost, let's say, $700 a month. and the landlord is charging $1,100 a month if the market allows it. That $400 difference between the price of rent and between how much the landlord is paying to own that property minus business expenses is going directly into that landlord's pocket. So as long as the landlord is making cash flow, then they don't really care if their property is put up for Airbnb. However, that is definitely not all landlords. I know that a lot of different landlords would have a problem doing this. So with this strategy, you might have to go to a lot of different people and hear no a lot of different times before you are able to hear a yes. But if you are driven and if you have the hustle and the time and the motivation, then this is definitely a strategy that you can employ. We have reached the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, this end right here, then I want to say thank you for being a real one. It goes a long way to helping support the channel and helping us grow. If you haven't hit the like button down below, make sure you smash it for me and also subscribe to the channel if you love the content that I am pushing out. Also, jump down in the comments down below if you've used any of these investment strategies or plan to. And if you have any questions about them, let me know and I'll do my best to help you out. Now, that is all that I have for today. I appreciate you so much for watching, for joining us, and for loving the content. That is all. Peace, love, and happiness.